guys, in this video I'd like to show you how you can easily make this kind of maze using Blender and then animate it using gravity and rigid body simulation. So first let's delete everything from the scene and then let's add a plane. So Shift A, Mesh and add a plane. Then S to scale it a little bit and then SX to scale it on the X axis. Click Tab to switch to edit mode and then Ctrl R to add some loop cuts. Then Ctrl R and scroll your mini mouse to add more loop cuts. And then let's switch from vertex mode to the face mode. Then let's go to select and choose circle select. And again you can scroll the middle mouse to make the selection smaller. And now left click on your mouse and you can drag the mouse to create some patterns. So there's gonna be some channels, and when we drop the spheres, they're gonna travel through this. And then you can hold shift and left click to deselect the unwanted faces. Let's create even more channels. And when you select the faces, try to keep distance between them, as then when we add modifier, they're gonna overlap. So keep at least one face distance between them. Now we can extrude the selected faces, so E for extrude. Then we can insert the faces, so I for inset. And E for extrude again, but this time extrude inside the faces. Now let's make some entries for the spheres. So we're gonna use loop tools for this and bridge the faces. We have to select both faces, then right click, loop tools and bridge the face. Now we can switch from edit mode to object mode and then let's add some modifier. Select the whole maze, then click the little wrench, add modifier, generate, and let's add subdivision surface modifier. Don't apply the modifier yet, as we need to adjust some curves later. Let's put it upright, so we need to rotate it on the y-axis in this case. So RY 90 to rotate on the y-axis, and then let's switch to wireframe view to make a final adjustment. Tab to switch to edit mode, and then select the vertex mode. And then as we are in a front view, we can grab some vertices and move it up or down to make a nice curve. Let's grab the vertices and smooth all the 90-degree curves so the spheres can easily travel through the channels. Just select the vertices and G to move. So now as we've got all the channels ready, or we think they are ready, let's duplicate the whole thing. So Shift D, duplicate and GY to move it on the side. Let's select the original one and apply the modifier. And also we can shade it smooth. And then Edge to hide. So now let's create some glass on top of the maze. So when we put some spheres into it, they're gonna stay in there. So Shift A, add another plane. Then let's scale it a little bit more than the maze. And we can rotate it 90 degrees on the y-axis, and we can use GX to move it closer to the maze. And again we can scale it on the z-axis this time. And now we can switch to material preview, and let's add some transparent material. Let's click the material icon and then add new material. The color doesn't matter as it's gonna be transparent. We have to go to alpha and slide the alpha to 0. And we've got transparent plane in front of our maze. Now let's go to physics property and add some physics to the glass. So let's add rigid body to our plane and then change the type from active to passive. And then let's open the surface response and decrease the friction to 0. And now let's go to scene collection and hide our piece of glass. Let's do the same with the maze, then add rigid body, slide the friction to 0, and on the collisions we have to change the shape from convex hull to mesh. And now we can add UV sphere. So Shift A, mesh and add UV sphere. Let's add some material to our UV sphere, so click material, then new, and let's choose some red color. And now let's scale our sphere to the size that's gonna fit our channels. we have to add rigid body to our sphere as well. So let's add rigid body. Then we leave the type as active. We can leave the shape as convex hull. And let's reduce the friction as well. And let's add some bounciness. And now GZ, and let's move the sphere up to the top of our maze. And let's place it exactly in the middle of one of the channels. Shift D and we can duplicate the sphere and place the copies above all of the channels. So we've got 4 channels, so let's make 4 copies. And now we can choose different colors to each of our spheres. And when they're ready, let's select all of them, GZ to move it up, and we can play the simulation. Let's check if they travel okay, if there's no 90-degree bends, because they're gonna be stuck there. And if everything is okay, we can duplicate the spheres, make it more, and play the animation. So that's it in this video. If you like it, please subscribe and see you next time. Bye!